Hey, and welcome back to another episode of North Mississippi Game Day. I'm Ronnie Williams. That's Josh Guest right there beside me. We're at the Town Place Suites by Marriott here in Oxford, Mississippi, a Charter Road hospitality property. And Josh, man, it's hard to believe, but here we are. North Half Championships starting this week.
It is, Ronnie, and man, we did our picks last week, and did a little bit better than I did. We picked a few games different, and I think I went maybe 8-6, almost 500 there. But
Yeah.
man, what a good week in the books, and now it's time. You got two teams in the north, two teams in the south, and we'll kind of be running through those north half games tonight, and so that'll be fun.
Yeah, this season's flown by. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they said, "How did you like going back and doing play-by-play this year?" I said it was fun, but man, it went really quick because it just seemed like just yesterday we were, getting ready for that very first game of the year, and here we are. And of course, we're done, but I mean, we're in the North Half Championships, and there's only really 2 weeks of high school football left, and then you got some All-Star games with those. So I mean, it's kind of crazy how quick it's gone.
Yeah, like don't blink because you'll miss
Yeah.
it.
So we had some pretty exciting games last week. I know a couple of them came down to uh, points at the end. I know, I think Noxubee County picked up a big win. They intercepted a pass right at about the 10-yard line to shut that one down and pick up a win. So a lot of big games. I know Oxford came from behind. And you were talking a little bit about somebody, a guest that we had on a little earlier this year, and the kicker for Oxford.
Yeah, he hit a big long field goal at the half, but there was a timeout, and so didn't count. And the next attempt got blocked, and so it ended up staying knotted at 14 there at halftime. In fact, I believe both 7A games were tied at the half. So,
Yeah,
or the north half. I'm sorry, the two north games in 7A
right.
were knotted at the half.
Well, this week, man, we've got some really good matchups. So this is where we talked about when the season or when the playoffs started. You had some teams that were coming in, 0-10, 0-8, 4-6, or whatever. Now, when you look, these are pretty much the class teams of each division of each classification. Now, there's going to be some teams in here that might be 6-6 or 7-4. I know there was one. We'll talk about it when it gets here, but they started at 0-6 and wound up 6-6.
That's rolling. If you want to win, if you want to be 6-6, you want to be six in a row. I mean, just to be quite
That's
honest,
right.
especially going into the playoffs, just get hot at the right time.
Well, let's just jump right into it. Let's start with 1A. The team that we've talked about all year long, County City Wildcats, are 11-1. They host Biggersville, 12-1. The Lions at Biggersville have played Calhoun City 8 times all time, and Calhoun City is 8-0 against Biggersville.
I mean,
So,
that's
yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy when you start looking at stuff like that. And you see some of these all-time records, and we're going to talk about some of them as we go.
man, that's I mean, Calhoun City getting it done every time, but I mean, 12-1 is also strong for those Lions of Biggersville this year as well. So, both teams you got to combine two losses in that game, Ronnie. That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, so just kind of taking a look at some of the common opponents that they had. Both teams played Okolona. Calhoun City won 46-7 back on October the 17th, and Biggersville just last week knocked Okolona out of the playoffs 29-12. They both played West Lowndes. Calhoun City won that one 40-0 back on October 30th. Biggersville 52-22 a week ago in the second round. And then both played Tupelo Christian Prep. Calhoun City won that one 53-14 on November the 14th, the second round game, while Biggersville met them in the regular season 38-0 on October the 17th. So three teams that they had in common, and both teams beat all three of them.
Yeah, and I was, before you got to that last set, I was thinking, well, maybe Biggersville's offense a little better, Calhoun City's defense is a little better, but then the last one flipped around. So there's not a hill of beans difference between the two. I mean, 12-1, 11-1, that kind of thing. So that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and you take a look. Calhoun City has Harlan Pittman. He's 70 of 112 on the season, passing for 1,207 yards, 14 touchdowns. Demarius Pittman, 79 carries, 680 yards in 10 games, 16 touchdowns. And Coach M.D. Jennings, there at Calhoun City in his sixth season, 49-21. They lost to Taylorsville last season, 42-0 in the 2A. Oh, that was in 2020. I'm sorry, that was in Coach Jennings' first season in 2020. So that was an opportunity for them to get a state championship. Calhoun City's won two state championships, 1989 and 2016. Interesting enough, both of those were against Bay Springs, and they're 2-10 in the championship games, 12-7 in North Half games.
Wow, 12 championship games, 19 North Half games. I mean, that's getting it done. That's a whole lot of appearances there in Jackson or wherever for the state championship at 12 appearances. Now, they've only won two, but still, they've played for it 12 times. That's serious.
Yeah, and then you take a look at Biggersville. They got Zay Mays, 132 for 196, 2,400 yards, 37 touchdowns, and four interceptions. And he's also their leading rusher, 100 carries, 1,132 yards, and 15 touchdowns on the ground. He's had 700-yard plus games. And then you got Coach Case Ingram there in his fifth season. It's 50-13. Won state in 2023 by beating Velma Jackson. So Biggersville is back again after setting out a year. And they lost the state championship to Lumberton in 2020. So they're 1-1 in state championships, 2-1 in North Half. So not quite the experience that Calhoun City has, but they have won a state championship.
Yeah, and you're talking about history too. You can kind of throw that out the door. I think for the most part, I mean, yeah, the program has that history, but the kids themselves maybe don't. Biggersville a couple of years ago, and Ronnie, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know the stats on that quarterback, and I kept thinking to myself each week we'd see the stats for Biggersville. I said they must have a dude on offense, and that dude is at quarterback. I mean,
The
20, what
quarterback,
20?
yeah, I mean, he has he's 132 for 90, 196, 2,400 yards, 37 touchdowns through the air. And he's their main rusher is 100 carries, 1,132 yards.
So
And
he's got
another 15 touchdowns.
3,500 yards. How many touchdowns rushing?
Rushing's 15, so he's got 52 total touchdowns this year.
And four picks. Give me
Yeah,
that
four
guy
picks.
any team, anywhere, all day, every day. Holy macaroni, that's serious.
So is Biggersville going to be your pick for the 1A North Half? I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, two great teams going to meet, and you hate that one of them has to lose, but I got to go Calhoun City in this one.
Yeah, me too. And look, that's a great athlete, but I think Calhoun City maybe the just a better team as the years shown. But I mean, again, it's still 12-1 strong for the Lions, but I have to go with Calhoun City on this one. We've just been noticing them all year. But man, I just mean as far as one player, that quarterback for Biggersville, man, those are some great numbers.
Without a doubt. And they will, whoever wins that game will get the winner of Simmons and Taylorsville coming out of the South. So the 2A is Kemper County Wildcats and the East Webster Wolverines. So we have a lot of Wildcats and Tigers. I don't know if we got many Wolverines in the state of Mississippi, but East Webster comes in uh, 12-1. Kemper County 7-6 on the season, and they have met on October the 3rd. East Webster won that one 49-20 at home. That's the only meeting ever between these two teams.
Wow. So interesting, their only time ever. And so in Kemper County with those six losses, but obviously they're hot at the right time here in the playoffs, playing against East Webster there in 2A.
Yeah, and you take a look at their common opponents. Both play Choctaw County, who's just an outstanding football team on their own. Kemper County lost at 50-36. And East Webster lost 14-0. So both teams lost to Choctaw County. That was in week one for East Webster. Their only loss of the year. They won 12 straight since. Philadelphia, Kemper County won that one 40-6 back on Halloween. East Webster beat them 29-6. Velma Jackson, Kemper County won that one 34-16, and East Webster beat them 35-0. And then Eupora, another common opponent. So they had four common opponents this year. Kemper County won 70-44, and East Webster shut them out 26-0.
So I'm wondering, did Kemper County, did they have somebody come in halfway through the season or something? Did they make a change, or was there an injury? Was there something that maybe turned their season around? I don't know. I just wondering there with them getting hot at the right time. Maybe they just got hot at the right time. Maybe they had some young players and just figured it out.
Yeah, I was going to look up uh, their schedule, and I'm going to pull it up real quick while we're talking and see if I can find out who Kemper County played, because to start the way they did and then to finish up, and I mean, you got to give these guys a lot of credit for not quitting on the season. So Kemper County is one of those teams that we were talking about, Josh, that started. Trying to see. So give me just a minute. I apologize. So Kemper County is trying to get their schedule here. Uh, but they actually, oh, were they in the same region? Let's see. So they started out, they lost to Quitman, lost to Knoxville County, lost to Heritage Academy, lost to Choctaw County. So they started, was it 0-4? Beat Northeast Lauderdale, lost to East Webster. So they're 1-5. And then they won two, beat Velma Jackson, Eupora, lost to Heidelberg 54-6. And since then, they have run off four in a row over Philadelphia, JZ George, Water Valley, and Northside. Those last three games were in the playoffs.
Well, and say, and Heidelberg is in the South Championship game against Mize.
Yeah.
So that was their last loss, right?
Yeah.
So
you play a team from the South that's kind of, instead of having an open date, you pick up an opponent. And that's a pretty good one to pick up. Now they did get. Let's go back and see what the score of that game was, because it wasn't very close. It was 54-6 against Heidelberg. So, but hey, take your hats off to them for playing somebody like that.
that's right. And I mean, and here they are in the north half. So you can throw 7-6, don't matter at this point. You line them up between the lines on the field and kick it off and see who wins.
Yeah, Gabriel Murray, the quarterback for Kemper County, 86 of 145 for 1,048 yards, 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Marius Yates, running back, 185 carries for 1,926 yards, 28 touchdowns. He had 800-plus yard games on the season. So pretty good little
Wow.
running back they've got.
Yeah. What was he? 19. What? How many yards again?
Let's see. He had Demarius was 185 for 1,926 yards, 28 touchdowns.
That's
Interesting enough, his longest run of the year was 25 yards.
really.
So he's
It's,
pounding the football.
well, his average was over 10.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's crazy. So he must have, he didn't break any big ones, but he must have been really consistent. Let's give it to him on first down all year.
Yeah. Bulldozer. So Coach Darius Red in his third season is 26-11, and Kemper County's only state championship was back in 2016. They beat Charleston 12-8, and they are 1-1 all time in the north half. Of course, East Webster, they have Cross Avent, who we'll talk a little bit about him. 79 from 121, 1,517 yards, 18 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions.
Oh wow, 18-2. That's pretty good. That's pretty good ratio too.
And they have another quarterback who was 81 of 124 for 1,348 yards, 17 touchdowns. So that is Connor Stidman. They have two quarterbacks that they've been running on the field. They both played last week, both threw for over 100 yards. So it may be one of those where you never know who's going to line up behind the center.
Does either one of them have rushing stats to speak of that you know of?
Now, their only rushing back is our running back, R.T. Moyer, 127 carries, 800 yards, 13 touchdowns. He has a 68 long, 300-yard game. So I think he probably carries the ball and they throw the ball.
Yeah, and it sounds like they throw it a good bit too. They kind of more of a that's interesting in high school. You got 2,000 plus. They both had well over 1,000 yards, right? Passing.
Oh, yeah, one 15, 17, 13, 48 for the other, 35 combined touchdowns, 6 combined interceptions.
That's crazy. I mean, to have we're talking about 2A, right? I mean, and you got talent like that at the quarterback position. That is just
Yeah.
unreal. So, I mean, we talk
And,
about it all the time, and there's great talent everywhere. Well, there really is. I mean, you just look right
yeah,
there.
there's probably some teams in 2A, 3A, and 4A going like, hey, man, share a quarterback.
Yeah, that's right. let us
Be
borrow one of
glad
those
to have
guys.
one of them. Of course, East Webster coached by Ron Price in his ninth season, 77-35. 121 and 75 in 16 seasons overall. He spent 7 years at New Albany before that. East Webster is 0-2 all time in title games and 2-3 all time in the North half. And so those two teams are going to be battling to see who can get to Starkville.
Man, I tell you what, that's serious right there. And again, I'm still just perplexed at this whole two quarterbacks on the same team with all those yards and all those TDs and only 6 picks between them. I mean that if I was a coach, I'd be like, oh, I'm in dreamland right here.
Yeah, I mean that's what 240, almost 250 passes attempts, and 6 interceptions, 35 touchdowns. So
That's
I'll take that stat all day long.
I think that's any level. I don't care what level you are. If you're getting that, you're doing that. You're getting it done for sure.
That's right. So the South State, as we mentioned, Heidelberg takes on Mines. So the winner of that will run up against Heidelberg or Mines. And then the 3A game, Noxubee
Well,
County.
let's go
I'm
back.
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. We're gonna pick who we're gonna pick.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
We
my
didn't
bad.
pick. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I just glazed over it. So I'm gonna go East Webster.
Yeah, me too. I just think East Webster's they're going to be. I mean, they've got that 12-1 record. They've won 12 in a row after the open season loss. They've got the quarterback situation where you never know which quarterback you're going to get. And I think that's just going to be a lot for Kemper County to have to play against.
Well, and they also beat them earlier this year, which I know sometimes it's hard to beat a team twice, but man, they roll. East Webster's just rolling, like you said, 12 in a row.
Yeah, and they beat them by 29 points earlier in the year too. So for the only time they'd ever met with each other. So yep. So I guess we're both going East Webster on that one. So and then we're going to jump to 3A. Noxubee County Tigers 10-3. The Winona Tigers 9-4. Winona won 31-26 back on October the 10th when they hooked up against each other, and then their common opponent this year is Choctaw County. Winona beat them 24-21 on October the 24th, and then Noxubee played them twice, beat them 8-7 on October the 17th, and then just beat them this past week 34-33 in the third round of the playoffs.
2 1-point victories, and that's a good squad you talked about there. That Choctaw County.
Oh, no doubt. And then Aberdeen, uh, both played them. Winona lost to Aberdeen 36-44 back on October the 3rd. And then beat them again 42-20 in the third round just last week. And then Noxubee beat them 48-26 back on October 30th. So Winona comes in. Landon Crawford is their quarterback, 88 of 143 for 1,254 yards, 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He also is one of their leading rushers, 107 yards, 107 carries, 878 yards, 8 touchdowns, 3 100-yard games. But then they got Yashawn Hudson, 138 carries, 1,196 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 6 100-yard games for him.
Wow, man, they getting it done on the ground between the quarterback and that running back for sure.
Yep. So they do a good job of keeping it on the ground. Coach D'Angelo Ballard in his first season is 9-4. He's 10-13-1 overall. He spent one season at Bahia in 2013. And interesting fact, for the 2023 state championship, Winona beat Noxubee County for the championship. So Noxubee was in the south part of the state in 2023, and then Winona lost to Taylorsville 41-26 in 2017. So they're 2-2 all time in the north half and 1-1 in the state championship games.
Well, and Ronnie, that just speaks to, when they redo these classifications every 2 years, you'd like to go, well, there's a line in the state, and if you're below that line, you're in the south, and if you're above it, you're in the north. But it doesn't quite work that way. They do those percentages and get so many 1A, 2A, 3A, so on and so forth, and then I guess they divide those up and go, well, here's the southernmost 28 teams and the northernmost 20, or whatever the number happens to be. And so Noxubee County playing for the South, what was that, 2 years ago or something, or
Yeah,
something?
yeah,
And then
2023. So
yeah.
they played it for the South State.
And so now they're trying to duke it out with the team that beat them to represent the North this year in 2025.
Yep. So Lycom Goodwin is the quarterback at Noxubee County, 100 for 180 for 1,247 yards, 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He also carried the ball. He's their leading rusher. 34 carries, 883 yards, 8 touchdowns. But they do have LaRondon Mosley. He's a senior, 75 carries for 665 yards. He has 9 touchdowns, so he may be the guy that gets the ball on short yardage close to the goal line.
Yeah, and um, I do like the word Noxaby a lot, but I just, you know, Winona's going to be strong here because both are Tigers, right? These are both Tigers, aren't they?
Yeah, both
So,
Tigers.
yep, I'm going with the Tigers.
Yeah, it's hard to lose. A little interesting stat on Noxubee County. Uh, Teddy Young in his 7th season, 68 and 28, three state, 3 straight state championship games for him in his 7th season, and this will be he's been to 5 overall state championships in his 7 seasons. There's the last
Wow.
championship, however, 17. They're 5-6 all time in the championships, 11-3 in the North Half Finals, and they have met 6 times with Winona. Winona leads that all time series 4-2. A little interesting that Winona hope because you would think with Knoxville County getting all these state championships that they may have the lead, but Winona's got it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm. Are we ready for me to disclose which Tigers I think are going to win?
Absolutely.
Because I'm going to go. Winona's going to go 5-2. I'm going with Winona.
I got you. Okay. Well, I'll differ with you on that one just because I've had an opportunity to go down and call some games at Knoxville. I haven't done it this year. It's been a few years since I've been down there, but I know how hard of a place that is to play. The PA announcer does the play-by-play
Oh,
as the game's going on, so you hear him the whole time, and which is a no-no, but I guess he gets by with it. So, but yeah, so I'll go with Knoxville. You're going with Winona. I think whoever wins this one's got a great shot at winning the state championship. Raleigh and Seminary are in the South half down there, but yeah, I think whoever wins this game should be the state champion this year in that class.
well, and too, Ronnie, that coach obviously at Knoxville County is getting it done. You know, all these appearances in the state championship game and playoff appearances, and man, that just man, he's definitely getting it done. So kudos to him. And maybe I picked the wrong team here, but I'm going to stick with my Winona Tigers right now. We'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, I don't think either one of those is going to be a bad pick. And he has an opportunity to play for a 6th state title in 7 years. It's not too bad. That might get you a
No,
raise.
that's right. That's right.
So Class 4A now, Kosciuszko Whippets, 12-1. Go to Louisville, 10-2. The Wildcats and the Whippets head to head this year. Louisville won 29-24 back on October the 10th. That game was at Louisville. And their common opponent this year, Yazoo City. Kosciuszko won it 46-0 at Yazoo City. Louisville 42-8 at Yazoo City. They both played Indianola Gentry. Kosciuszko hosted them, but beat them 45-8. Louisville goes on the road 44-6 at Gentry. And then Greenwood, they both get Greenwood at home. Kosciuszko won it 28-7. Louisville 37-6.
Well, you know, Ronnie, this is one of the games I missed last week with Kosciuszko and Corinth. I thought Corinth did not get enough point in the playoffs, and the Whippets
Yeah.
whipped them 14-3.
They are a very good team, and of course, a lot of the stuff I base on haven't been down there, but that was the early 2000s or the mid 2000s. Lafayette played them, and I got to go down and I think we missed a field goal in the playoffs that would have advanced us. That may have been with Scott Samsel, maybe his one of his seasons when he was at Lafayette. But we had the opportunity to go down there. It's a tough place to play. In Louisville, though, man, Tristan Edwards, their quarterback, 142 for 196, 2,135 yards, 18 touchdowns, 1 interception. One
Woo!
interception on
That is awesome.
196 passes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zaiden Jennings, the sophomore running back, has carried the ball 206 times for 1,360 yards, 19 touchdowns. He's had 600-yard games in his long of the season, 84 yards.
That's a definition of a workhorse.
Yeah.
206 carries in high school football. That young man is toting the rock and doing it at a high rate right there. And then going back to that one pick, I mean, that's
Yeah.
understanding the game. That's understanding your game plan, your coaches. I mean,
Yeah.
they're making sure this guy's dialed in, and he obviously knows what's going on with that system. What a job. 18 touchdowns to one pick. Wow.
Yeah, well, save what you just said because you're going to have to say it again here in just a second. So when we start talking about Kosciuszko's quarterback, but Coach Tyrone Shorter is 86-12 in his 7 seasons. He also went 187-42 9 seasons at Knox. No, he's 187-42 overall. He had 9 seasons at Knoxville County from 2010 to 2018, and they have 7 state championships. Yeah, 7 state championships at Louisville. Oh, I can't even read my own writing. I'm sorry. 12 state championships. They're 12-2. They're 14-10 in the North Half state championship. So those guys played some really good football in Louisville.
Yeah. Did you say 12-2 in state championship games?
Yeah, 12-2
Wow.
in state championship games. So yeah,
Talk,
they've only lost two.
I feel like talking about showing up when the lights come on. I mean, sign me up for that squad right there, whatever year that is.
Yeah,
You know,
and they played 24 times for a North Half title. They've won it 14 times. But I was saying, save some of those compliments for Kosciuszko's quarterback, Caden Wade. 125 for 202, 2,121 yards, 41 touchdowns, but he has 2 interceptions.
yeah, I mean, two. Come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing throwing those two picks? But he's got over 2,000 yards, over 200 attempts, and two picks. Again, that's another kid that understands the system. Obviously, does his homework, and I don't necessarily mean his math homework. I mean his, football homework as well. Just knowing what
Absolutely.
to do. And there's a lot of coaches that would be pleased with that. As far as he probably does a lot of taking what the defense gives him, and I'm sure he takes his deep shots as well. But man, that's really getting it done. Both these quarterbacks, man. Wow.
Yeah, I know Coach Casey Orr at Kosciuszko is very happy because the quarterback and the running back, C.J. Sandefur's got 1,130 yards, 16 touchdowns on the year. They're both juniors, so they'll be back next year. So you know he's excited about the prospects of not only this year but the future at Kosciuszko.
Absolutely. Give me those two juniors anytime coming back right there.
Yeah. So Coach Orr is 40-23 in his 6 seasons at Kosciuszko. He also had 6 seasons at Noxapater from 2014 to 2019. He's 90-50 overall. Has 2 state championships. Does Kosciuszko? Now I don't know if they count, but maybe kind of like Ole Miss counts some championships. 1929 and 1949, they won the state championship. 1996 was their last time that they played in a state championship game. They lost that one to Northeast Jones. They're 5-4 all time in North Half games, and they're still looking for that elusive. I guess since the mid 80s when the playoffs started back, looking for it for that first championship.
Wow. Well, I don't know, Louisville, Kosciuszko, both teams this year. I mean, and you just the stats about both quarterbacks and running backs and the coaching, all that stuff. I mean, and obviously we're in North Half. At this point, you're going to get that. You're going to get great stats. You're going to get great players, great coaches. Uh, so I'm still going to lean Louisville.
I mean, you can't go wrong with either one of these schools. I think I'm going to differ from you just a little bit. I'm going to go Kosciuszko. I think Kosciuszko, even though Louisville, I mean, I think their only losses to like West Point, Starkville, or somebody like that. So they're not scared to play big teams. I'm going to go with the Whippets. This is the 91st meeting all time between these two schools. We just had one. They've only met one time ever. This is the 91st time that they have met. Louisville leads 62-24-4. And the last 10 times they've met Louisville won all 10. So I think Kosciuszko gets that off their back.
Well, and those two places aren't very far apart as the crow flies. I don't remember if it's 14 or 16 or 17, so 19. Some highway connects the two, and it's not terribly far apart there. I used to live there in the central part of the state and have driven from one to the other on multiple occasions, but I cannot recall the highway number right now. Uh, but man, and by the way, Ronnie, just so everybody knows, full disclosure, last week I think all the games that we picked different, you won and I lost. So sorry, Louisville.
No, I think you're good. I think we're going to have some fun with it. You have an opportunity to see some great games and see some good teams. So The South State is Poplarville and Columbia, so that'll be waiting for the winner of this one. And it's a game that I mean, I hope it's streamed because I'd really like to watch that one. I might have to set up about 5, 6 TVs so I can watch some of these games this weekend. My wife's not going to be happy, but I think it'd be a fun thing to do is get to watch some games this Friday night.
Absolutely. And when we get there, I'll talk about the one I watched last Friday night.
Yeah. So 5A, we're going to jump into 5A now, and I mean I don't know really what to say. Holmes County Central beat Cleveland. They're 10-3 on the season, but they got to play West Point. And I mean, the best team in the state, West Point, overall best team in the state, not just 5A.
Well, when you said 5A, I just thought I pitied a fool going back to Mr. T. I pitied a
Yeah.
fool, and I'm not calling Holmes County or Brookhaven or Laurel all fools. I'm just saying I just feel bad for them because West Point is, I mean, unless the whole team doesn't show up, they're just going to roll.
Well, we were just talking about Louisville, right? So that was a common opponent for both of these teams that are playing 5A state championship. West Point beat them 9-7. And Holmes lost to Louisville 45-53. So a high scoring game there.
Woo-hoo. Defense optional.
Yeah, so didn't show up for that one. New Hope, they both played New Hope. West Point beat them 38-7, and Holmes beat them 36-28 in a playoff game. At Vicksburg, West Point won 42-19, and Holmes won 22-16. Devarius Johnson, the quarterback at Holmes, is 142 for 200, 2,200 yards, 30 touchdowns on the season. Has 7 interceptions, but Rashad Campbell, the running back, 101 carries, 698 yards, 7 touchdowns on the season for Holmes.
Well, that just tells me that's an explosive offense. Uh, I mean, that sounds like a lot of possible big play potential from Holmes County right there.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of were laughing about it, but I mean, they put 45 on Louisville. That I had to look, but that may be the most that Louisville gave up all year because that's a pretty good team. And to give up 45 to score 45 against them, I think that's definitely pretty good.
Well, Louisville only gave 9 up to West Point, so it ain't like
Right.
West Point rolled it up.
That's right. So Coach Marcus Rogers at Holmes is 70-28 in his 8 seasons, 89-45 overall. He had 3 seasons at Vicksburg. Holmes County has never won a state championship since 2014, their first year as a school. Who was it that consolidated down there?
It was Lexington, and then oh my
Grant,
gosh,
was it?
no, was it? Where's JZ George? Was that it?
No, they're still playing. Yeah, I don't. I know there was a consolidation that happened in 2014. That was
It
their
was a
first
name.
year.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. You go ahead and keep going, and I'll.
Yeah, so that was the first time that they played. This is their first time ever playing for a North Half championship. And West Point, I mean, we saw them this year, and they just continue to roll. Their quarterback, Colt Whitaker, he's a senior, doesn't throw the ball a lot. Only 91 times, completed 60 passes for 900 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Quentin Thompson, 71 carries, 793 yards, 5 100+ yard games for those guys. And Coach Brett Morgan, in his 2 seasons, has won 2 state championships. He's 23-2. They won 20 in 2024 over Gaucher. West Point has 13 state championships. We saw the big sign hanging on their press box down there. If they win this game, it will be the 10th straight state championship that they have played for. They are 13-5 overall in those championships, 18-4 in the North Half. And here's an interesting stat: 42-3 all time at home in the playoffs. Their last loss in the playoffs, 2014.
Do we know who it was to?
I don't. Yeah, no, I saw it, but I don't remember who it was now. Then they lost again in 2003 and 1993. Those were South Panola that they lost to both times there.
Well,
They're
South
5-0
Panola.
all time against Holmes since 2016. Uh, I, I'm like you, a penny the fool that has to play these guys, and we've seen them, and it's no knock whatsoever on Holmes County Central, because that's a school that I'm going to have to keep up with a little bit since Brett's going to Holmes to play Holmes Community College play baseball. So I'm sure I'll be kind of keeping up with their program down there. But man, it's just you got to play West Point.
Yeah, I mean,
But that's why
and
they play the game. So
you're right. You're right. Line it up and play. And I mean, obviously,
that's right.
again, that offense for Holmes County has got to be explosive to have done what they did against Louisville. So,
Yeah.
don't. I mean, we sit here and joke, oh yeah, West Point's just going to roll. They're the best team, blah 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 blah. But Holmes County, they're sitting around chomping at the bit, going, you know what? Give us our shot. Give us our shot right now, and we'll take it. And uh, we'll see what happens. But oh my gosh, I mean, and I couldn't find it right now. I wasn't googling the right thing. I guess it may have been Durant that they consolidated there to get Holmes County. Man, and that happened when I was there, by the way. I was at Holmes Community College when that happened. I
Yeah.
should be able to tell you. I used to get the transcripts from those schools. I just don't remember what they are.
I just don't remember seeing anything about Durant over the last few years. But that, I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It could be just my dumb self not seeing it.
No, I think Durant was part of that. I do. So,
So, is there any doubt who you're picking?
no, I'm picking Holmes. No, I'm kidding. I'm picking West Point. I've got to go West Point.
We're gonna agree on that one. West Point. Not gonna say big, but I think West Point is not gonna uh, roll them by any means. I think it'll be a really good game. Another one of those games I'd like to see. But we'll see. And the winner of that one's going to get Brookhaven or Laurel. So those are the two South teams. But West Point is 5-0 all time against home since 2016.
Well, and just a little side note. I know we talk about our kids a lot, but we played this summer in Laurel or just outside in Ellisville at Jones.
Yeah,
And it was about 648 degrees that day.
I know.
We sat out. There is no shade. If anybody's ever been to Ellisville to a baseball game, it's a nice facility. It's a really nice facility. But man, let me tell you something. There was no shade,
Yeah.
none, and there was no breeze, and the sun was out, and I don't even know on the field. I don't know how hot it was. Those boys came off and they were just absolutely famished. It was crazy. So anyway, it was so hot.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. The good thing about this time of year, it may be cold Friday night. It may be cool. So you just don't know this time of year. And it may be 75 degrees like it kind of was yesterday. And the sun came out and it got warm yesterday.
Well, the extended forecast right now for our area in North Mississippi is showing rain on Saturday at a pretty high percentage. So if that comes in early, you could have some messy games on Friday night.
And plus, you got the Egg Bowl Friday, so a lot going on Friday. But Class 6A, these two teams that are in it, I told you I was thinking that it was going to be Grenada South Panola playing for this one, but it's going to be Ridgeland Titans, 11-1, taking on the Warren Central Vikings at 10-2. Head-to-head matchup this year, Warren Central won at 21-14 back on October the 10th at Warren Central. They do have a lot of common opponents. As I believe they were in the same region. Vicksburg, they both won. Callaway, they both won. Kent, they both won. Greenville, they both won. And Neshoba Central, they both won.
Yeah,
So they beat everybody in the region, and then Warren Central beat uh, Ridgeland.
and that was Richmond's only loss. They were both in the region
Yeah.
too, Ronnie. They were both in the region too, and so that's why they had so many common opponents. I tell you what, I did tune in to the end of this game, the very end, right before it ended. I think it was 55-45. Yeah, Ridgeland had the lead over Neshoba Central, and I had picked I said the North half is going to be against the Centrals. This was another game I lost. I got Warren Central right, but not Neshoba. And when I tuned it in, it was just ending, and Ridgeland was celebrating on their field there. They're home of the Titans. And so I most recently probably have been on that campus. We moved here in 2017, so it would have been in the spring of 2017. My daughter had a big production down there at Ridgeland High School in the auditorium. And so that was
Okay.
probably the last time I've been on that campus.
Well, they have a ways to go, but both of these two teams are going to battle it out. As we said, they met, and it was a one-score game. Warren Central comes in. Nash Morgan is their guy. He's their quarterback. He's a junior. 92 and 146 passing, 1,105 yards, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. But he's also their leading rusher. Carried the ball 103 times for 1,106 yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 100-yard games, and has a a long of 75 yards. So he's their workhorse at
Yeah.
the Central.
And we've seen this already tonight, but in this show, but dual threat right there. There's your definition of dual threat. I mean, he's almost even on his yards for rushing and passing, right?
Yep.
1,100 each. Yeah. So I mean, you don't know. Pick your poison on him. What are you gonna do? Load up, stop the run? Well, he'll just beat you with the pass. What you gonna do? Stop with the pass? He's gonna beat you with the run. So
Yeah, 1,105 yards passing, 1,106 yards running.
he's a little bit better running the ball. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a better runner. Coach Josh Morgan, not sure if that's his dad or not, possibly. 121 and 72 in 16 seasons at Warren Central. They did play for the North half last season. 2-1 in state championships is Warren Central. They won it in 88 and 94, lost it in 93, and they are 3-3 all time in the North half in their 61 seasons.
That's just those are great stats. I'm gonna have to wait and see what you got me for Ridgeland here on the stats.
So Ridgeland, we'll go ahead and get it out. D.K. Wallace, the senior quarterback, 28 of 56 is all he's thrown. So 768 yards, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So they're not going to throw the ball a lot, but when they do, he's pretty effective, it looks like.
Well, so my question is, did he start all year? Do we know?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, definitely not throwing a lot.
It had 13 games or 12 games, whatever, how many they played, it had that number out there beside him, so they just don't throw the ball. But then when you look at the running game, I'm going to give you 3 names for the running game.
Okay.
Ashton Gordon, 120 carries, 1,172 yards, 14 touchdowns, 7 100-yard gains. D.K. Wallace, the quarterback, 108 carries, 1,109 yards rushing, 17 touchdowns, 7 100-yard gains. And poor old Jonathan Henningberg, 109 carries, only 917 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 4 100-yard gains for him.
So they're 83 yards away from having 3,000-yard rushers.
Yeah.
So this is this is the 6A version of West Point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what it's
just what it's ball line. Line it up and run it at you.
Yeah, I mean that's what the stats tell me anyway. Not having watched Jerusalem play any games other than tuning in for the very last few seconds of the night, they're the 6A version of West Point as far as their system goes.
Right. Coach Todd McDaniel is 2013 in his 3 seasons at Ridgeland at 121-69 overall, 16 seasons at 6 different stops along the way, 0 state championships, and 0-3 in the North half of 2010, 2011, and 2020. Warren Central has won all 3 previous meetings, and those are all took place over the last 3 seasons.
Well, I'm going to stick with what I circled. I'm going to stick, even though the stats might be leaning me another way. I'm going to say Ridgeland gets the monkey off their back and finally beats Warren Central.
That's a really good pick, but I'm going to pick against you. I'm going Warren Central. I think they've just been one of those teams all year long that when people counted them out, they came back. And another great matchup. I mean, it really is. And we hadn't had a matchup that I thought, other than West Point, and I think Holmes is going to give West Point a run, but we hadn't had a matchup that I'm just like, oh, yeah, there's just no way that team wins. Either team can win any of these games. That's why we're, where we are in this part of the season. But I'm going to have to go Warren Central.
Yep. Well, that means I've already lost 3 games next week, so already.
Are we 3-3 already?
Well, we've already done 3 different ones. The last 3 have been different. So.
Okay. Well, let's see where we're at on 7A.
Save West Point. I'm sorry. 3 of the last 4 different.
Yeah. Well, now we're going to 7A. So two teams we're very familiar with. The Oxford Chargers, 11-1, go on the road to the Tupelo Golden Wave, is 12-1. And the head-to-head matchup, Tupelo won it 20-13 back on September the 19th. That game was in Oxford. They do have 4 common opponents this year, and they both beat Germantown, both beat Starkville, both beat Hernando, and both beat Horn Lake. So 2 losses between them, and one of them's only loss is to the other team, while that team's only loss is to West Point.
Yeah, Tupelo's only loss was West Point. I believe it was 28-21, and then Oxford got beat by Tupelo, and I think it was not a very close game. But
I got
since
20-13. I mean,
okay. Maybe I was thinking something else. I was thinking a bigger score for Tupelo. So 20-13. Oh yeah, Oxford had a 13-0 lead, I believe. and
Yeah.
Tupelo scored 20 unanswered, if I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah. So with
So,
our scoreboard watching.
yeah, Oxford has, yeah, and we never know on some of those games we're getting because at one time I think wouldn't Columbus beat somebody 30-0 at one
Yeah,
time
West Point. West
looking to
Point.
score?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think somebody was having fun that night. But Oxford has the two quarterbacks that they've had. Of course, Drew Dean started the season, 102, 176 for 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, but he was injured. And Knox Kiffin has come in. The sophomore is 47 of 78 for 856 yards, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. DeMar Jamerson, the sophomore running back, 124 carries, 731 yards, 14 touchdowns. 40 is his longest, but he has 5 100-yard games.
Yeah, and Ronnie, a kid that's dear to my heart, was the running back at Oxford to start the season. One of them, and he got hurt. And
Yeah,
one of the kids that coached in baseball when they were younger, and then
I coached
Jamerson
his
got
dad.
his yeah. Demari Fryerson's who
Yeah,
I'm talking about. Yeah. And
yeah,
got to see him after Oxford put a good whooping on us this year. Got to see Demari after the game and talk to him, his leg, and knee, and everything. And he's hoping to get some interest from some colleges and stuff. It's tough your senior year when you get injured so early
yeah,
on. He didn't have a handful of carries when he got hurt early in the season. But, Drew Dean actually played and scored a rushing touchdown in this game last week against Horn Lake. And that was a tight game. It was 14-14 at the half after that field goal was made and then blocked after the timeout and all that stuff at the end of the first half. But in the second half, big play for Oxford. I believe they blocked a punt and ran it back in, or either scored right after that for a touchdown. And that kind of sent them in the right direction to finish that game. Knox Kiffin also on 3rd and 11 from the 21 took one right up the gut with his feet and scored a touchdown. So he and Drew Dean both had rushing touchdowns in that game last Friday. I was watching from uh, uh, a restaurant in town for the first half, listened on the radio, and then tuned in when I got home on my computer for the rest of the game. And so they won that game, like I said, 37-27. And Horn Lake, now, their offense impressed me. They had a good-looking
yeah.
quarterback.
They came to
Oxford,
play.
yes, but Oxford's defense kind of stood tall. And, on the other side, Tupelo Germantown, I talked about Germantown outscoring those opponents so much. Germantown had 2 chances with the ball late in the game, down 7, and Tupelo's defense rose up both times. So this is going to be a good knockdown, drag out fight, and I believe it's at Tupelo. Is that right?
Yeah, it's at Tupelo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, Jared Redding, a friend of ours who kind of runs the Charger Media Group over there, does a lot of clips that he posts out. And then I got to see the block punt and heard Don Brooks's call of it. And I do remember Don saying it was going to be, or Denny Tosh said it was going to be brought back because of a hold. But I mean, it was just the way he just went in, blocked it, took it right off his foot, and run it back for a touchdown. But it was called back. And then they went down and scored, like you said, went down and scored right after that. Coach Chris Cutcliffe is 88-34 in 10 seasons at Oxford. He won the 2019 state championship. Oxford's only state championship. They're 1-5 in those state championships. The rest of them were Coach Johnny Hill, 6-2 in North Half games.
And while we're talking about Oxford running, I mean, it's no secret we're right here in town, and I taught over there in 2023, taught at Lafayette in 2021. So I've got ties to both schools. Of course, my kid plays at Lafayette. My older daughter ran cross country there and did archery, and she's graduating from MC this year. But Ben Logan, shout out Coach Logan from
Yeah,
Oxford High School. He got one of the teachers of the year at Oxford High School. And so love Coach Logan. Just wanted to give him a shout out there for that award and honor. Thought that was kind of cool there. And of course, I mean, I met Coach Cut that semester and great dude. Been in some meetings with him just on the academic side of things. He's very
right.
involved in academics as well there. And I know I've mentioned that before, but anyway, I know a lot of coaches and a lot of schools have good coaches and that kind of stuff. I just happen to know 3 of the football coaches at Oxford.
Yeah, and Coach Cut was the starting quarterback when I did their first state championship in, I think, 2003, maybe. He was the starting quarterback for that one. Now, Tupelo, as we said, their only loss is to West Point. They have Jaden Hill, the senior quarterback. They've had 2 quarterbacks this year. They haven't thrown the ball much. 11 of 29 for Hill, 100 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Braylon Williams is a senior, also 21 of 45 for 249 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Rushing is where Tupelo likes to beat you. Alan Bobo, 157 carries for 1,451 yards, 23 touchdowns, 6 100-yard games. Peyton Hill, the quarterback, he's carried the ball 162 times for 1,533 yards, 14 touchdowns, and has 9 100-yard games.
Wow, it's almost like, and those numbers bear out that that could be the 7A version of what West Point kind of runs, is just as far as the rushing versus the passing type of things. And my connection with Tupelo, besides my daughter being born there when we lived in South Tillow, is my very first game to call on the radio was there at the Blue Turf with that incredible press box.
Oh, I love their press box.
Yes,
Nice.
they spoiled me. It was my first game, and it was on the road,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah,
the best press box. They were the nicest. They, all these things. Not that other people aren't nice, but they were so nice. They were press box. Of course, they beat us 35-0. I think they knew. And that was a good year for Lafayette.
yeah.
So
You had your own booth. Uh, you have a restroom in the press box.
yes,
It will ruin you when you go places. A little known fact: I started elementary school in Tupelo, Mississippi, at Rankin Elementary School in first grade.
okay. Look at that.
So yeah, so it ties it all together. I graduated in Oxford, had a few stops in between, but Coach Ty Harden, the Tupelo coach, 6 seasons. He's 61 and 14, 98 and 28 overall. After spending a few years at Houston, he won the 2024 state championship, won it last year. Tupelo is 2-4 in the championship games. They won it in 2024 and 1992. They lost it in 2013, 1991, 1990, and I guess we can count 1923. I don't remember that one. I wasn't around for that one. So they're 6-5 all time at North Half Games.
Wow, I was around for the 1923 game. I remember that Tupelo guy got handled. I'm just kidding. I have no idea. So that was quite a long time ago. 102 years ago, actually. Wow.
Yeah, that's been a minute. I wonder if they had the flashing lights back then. Probably
Maybe.
headlights on cars if they had cars back then, right?
Yeah, that was the flame going in and out on the bonfire or something. Yeah.
That's right. So Tupelo leads the all-time series. Now I thought it would be a little more than this. I thought they'd have played more times. They've only played 16 times, and Tupelo leads it 11-5. They've beat every year since 2017, and Tupelo has a 5-4 lead over that time. And this is the first time they've ever met in the playoffs.
Really? Well, it's
Yeah,
interesting because the way that I work with, obviously right here in town with some people, I actually worked with somebody from Tupelo whose son was on the baseball team until he graduated a couple years ago. And she was telling me that Tupelo and Oxford kind of bounce back and forth between Region 1 and 2 every time they do it, so that
right.
one school doesn't have to go. And the 2 years that she was telling me this were the 2 years they were with like Clinton and Madison Central and Germantown. They were
Right.
all their away games were 2 or 3 hours down to Jackson. Versus this year, I think Oxford's in that region and Tupelo's up in the one with DeSoto County and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you would think maybe Starkville will move up or West Point. Well, West Point's always going to be 5A. They know
Yeah.
how to do it. But maybe Starkville moves up or uh, and Oxford and Tupelo could get in the same region. I just don't see how they're going to do it with all the DeSoto County teams, and they continue to grow up there. Brandon and Gulfport are looking for their first ever state championship. Both of those teams have never won one. So that's the South opponents for whoever wins the Oxford Tupelo game. But going to be a very exciting game over in Tupelo on Friday night.
It is. I'm actually surprised. I know Brandon's in the South, but that they've never won a state championship in football. That's kind of surprising to me. But against maybe what the numbers and the history might say, I'm going to go with, because I said this last week, Ronnie. I have to stay with this. My team to take it all the way is Oxford, so I'm going to go with the Oxford Chargers.
I'm gonna go with you. I think this is
Okay.
Oxford's year. I think they get some payback for the loss earlier in the year. I think Oxford's probably a different team right now than they were earlier in the year. Um, And of course, I know Tupelo, I don't think had their starting quarterback when they played Oxford. He had to sit out a few games to start the season. But I think Tupelo is a very good team. I just think this is Oxford's year, and I mean it's a special group Coach Cut's got over there, and I think they're gonna win it. They're gonna get revenge for that one loss they've got, and they're gonna win this. And I think they'll go to Jackson, they'll win a state or go to Starkville and win a state championship.
Yep, that's what when you said last week. I mean, obviously West Point was the obvious choice for who's going to go on and take it through whatever. But I said Oxford, and I'm going to stick with it again. Probably a little bit of sentimental with the time I spent over there recently a couple of years ago, and like I said, knowing three of those coaches and that kind
Yeah.
of thing. But that's who I'm going with.
Yeah, I kind of catch them at from my whole Lafayette family when they look in the closet, my Oxford letter jacket's hanging up in there, and I'm like, it's been a minute, it's been a minute. But hey, we do have some championships that have already been decided, and that's in the Mississippi Private Schools Association, and they do things a little different. Their divisions are, I think they take four in the upper, put four in the lower, and I mean it's just wild. But I think I read today they're going back next year and going to revert back to the old way they were doing it. I have no idea how they do this, but we're just going to kind of let you know who won all the championships. In 1A Division One, River Oaks Mustangs, 20-8 over Humphreys Academy. The DeSoto Thunderbirds, 34-12 over Tallulah Academy in Division Two, Class 1A. And then we go to Class 2A, Division One, the Centerville Academy Tigers, 32-20 over Lee Academy. Division Two of Class 2A, Winston Academy Patriots, 20-0 over Oak Hill Academy. Class 3A, Division One, Leake Academy Rebels beat Tri-County 25-24. So that was a very close ball game. Class 3A Division Two, Adams County Christian Rebels, 28-22 over Marshall Academy. Class 4A Division One, the Jackson Academy Raiders, 50-14 over Hartfield Academy, and Hartfield had won, I think, back-to-back state championships.
Yeah, and we went to Hartfield. Lafayette went to Hartfield, and I'm just going to tell you something. I thought we were playing an SEC team.
Yeah, so they got some revenge this year with that big 15-14 win.
Yeah, well, and I actually saw a video online of Jackson Academy celebrating because Hartfield has been so dominant. I think the year we
Yeah,
went, Hartfield didn't lose a game, and they had their
yeah.
defensive line. They had three down linemen on defense. Two of them had SEC offers, and one of them was only a sophomore, maybe, or had one since he was in ninth grade and he was a junior. And I think they were some kind of 780 something pounds combined for the three of them. I mean, they just ran slapdog over our offensive line. I mean, poor quarterback for
Yeah, I
Lafayette had
remember
no
that. I
chance.
remember
Yeah,
listening to y'all because I text you and said, "Is that cowbells?"
it was. They had Cowboys because one of that kid, the one I'm talking about, had LSU and state offers, and they had a DB that baited the quarterback so many times. He would let the receiver get some steps, and then as soon as the quarterback let it go, he would close the gap and make the pick. I just it was unreal the level of talent that they had on defense, especially. They had good offense too. They had a running back and quarterback that could run it, and they were good. But those defensive guys, that defensive line, and that DB were some of the best high school athletes I've ever seen.
Well, evidently they're gone because a
Yes.
50-14 victory for Jackson Academy Raiders. In Class 4A Division Two, the Park Lane Academy Pioneers 42-0 over Heritage, and the Class 4A Division Three, the Lamar Raiders 34-17 over Brookhaven. Congratulations to all those champions, and a lot of football coming up this week as MHSAA has their north half and their south half. And then next week, they'll all converge for the next week after that. They'll all converge at Starkville for the north champs and the south champs to meet.
That's right. And we'll see how the North fares in that.
So while we're sitting here thinking about this, we do want to thank all of our sponsors, Charter Road Hospitality, for letting us be here at the Town Place Suites by Marriott, right across from the Oxford Conference Center here in Oxford. Domino's Pizza, who gives us our Domino's Pizza Players of the Week, which we're fixing to talk about here in just a second. And anybody else that wants to get on board, let us know because we'd be glad to put you in and get you as part of the show.
That's right. And Ronnie, we keep talking about it, but my wife and I went to Nukes the other night, and the Gin Hotel and Spa or whatever is just coming right on up. It's so big, it's
Yeah,
so enormous, and it's in a great spot. I mean, you're talking right
it
there
is.
on the historic square in Oxford. Such a great location. As we talked about where the Gin, I mean, not only where the Gin used to be because it's a whole lot bigger than the Gin, but in that same general location there and area. So what a facility. So if you're coming into town for anything in Oxford, whether it's travel soccer, travel softball, baseball, or just some event, or maybe to the Ford Center, maybe to Oxford to an Ole Miss game, whatever it is, check out Charter Road facilities and hotels, and give them a ring and a shout and stay there, because there's some great places in Oxford, and it's great places to stay.
No doubt. As we said, our Domino's Pizza Players of the Week, we're going to give it to our first one is going to be our female, Brooklyn Roberts, a basketball player for Thrasher. Thrasher come up a little short against New Site the other night, 57 to 52, but Brooklyn had 25 points. She was 1 of 3 on threes, 10 of 14 from the free throw line, 6 of 12 from the field, 15 rebounds, 5 steals. So not a bad night for Brooklyn other than having to take the loss.
That's right. I mean, almost half the offense, but 10 of 12 from the line. So obviously, make sure that she can shoot some free throws. So when they give you those free shots, you take those points for sure.
Without a doubt. And then our male athlete, Domino's Pizza Player of the Week, we talked about him a little earlier. Zaiden Jernigan, running back at Louisville, 27 carries, 162 yards, and 1 touchdown, and Louisville win.
Yeah, they're against Clarksdale, who again that was one of my. I missed both those games, by the way, the Louisville Clarksdale game and the other one, and then 5A there. But 27 for 162 and a touch. I mean, that's toting the rock right there. And then the playoffs, nonetheless, Final Four in the North. So that's a good job there by that running back for sure.
Yeah, those both of those athletes, we appreciate it, and man, we just urge our coaches to send us some information. You get some game highlights, send them to us. Anything else that you want us to see, we'll be glad to publicize your athletes, and that's what we're here for. That's why we want to make North Mississippi Game Day your stop for high school sports in North Mississippi, and we'll do features, or I mean, we can come to you, we can send you a link, and we can do it online, however you want to do it. We'll be glad to talk to you. We're going to be reaching out a little bit more. We've sent just about every coach that I had an email for every school in the north half of the state. Sent an email earlier this year, and I'll be sending some more out. I'm going to, you and I were talking earlier, I'm going to jump in the truck and got some time off coming up. So I'm going to head around North Mississippi and meet with some ADs and some coaches.
Yeah, see if we can grow this a little bit. And again, like you said, let's find those stories. Again, it can be that athlete that goes 27 for a buck 62 and a touchdown, or it can be a player who gives back to younger players at a camp. And this is something they've done their whole high school career, and they're just passing the game along because they love the game so much and they love sharing it with the younger generation or whatnot. So, all these schools have it. We see it here with our boys at Lafayette. They have a camp in the summer. Those boys go in there and
Yeah,
they work with those kids, and those kids love it. You think about a third grader or a first grader or 5-year-old or 10-year-old that gets to work with a high school athlete at their school. They think that's the
yeah,
coolest thing.
yep. And I always told my son that, when you're in the grocery store, or you're, somewhere, and some little kid sees you, they've seen you at the ball field, they've seen you on the football field, the baseball field. They know who you are. So I always be mindful of that. And our guys do such a good job with that. And like you said, I know all these other schools do the same thing. They all have these camps, and where the young kids get to go hang out with the high schoolers and look up to them. I mean, I remember being kind of a youngster and going to Ole Miss basketball camp one time. And Bob Welling was the head coach. So it's been a minute. But man, I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world that I was on the same court as those Ole Miss basketball players.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what you're talking about, I mean, we've been in Kroger before, and one of the kids from the neighborhood, Caleb, just screaming across Kroger. I mean, it
Yeah,
just happens. So
yeah. I was I'd set up at a little fall bazaar at a church yesterday, and I had some sports cards that I was peddling, and had a young kid come up to me, and he had asked me. He said, "Hey, do you have any JT Kids?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've got some." And he said, "How do you know JT?" I said, "Same way you do. He's kin to you, right?" and because he didn't know who I was, and he said, "Who are you?" And I told him, he said, "Are you Brett's dad?" And I'm like, yeah, he knew Brett, so I'm like, yep, Brett's my son. He said, man, I love watching him pitch. He said, I want to be a pitcher. So, it's funny how they do that. Those kids see them. But man, what a fun day that I had yesterday, getting to just hang out with some kids. And I know that's what we want this thing to be, is it's all about the kids. And we both get to work with youngsters. I got the high schoolers, you got the junior college students. And so we're both still involved with the youth. Both of us have coached for years. Um, and it's kind of a way to give back. But this is something that's kind of a project that we want to grow. We're not trying to make a dime off of this thing. We just want to spotlight students and share all over Mississippi.
Yeah, and Ryan, you talk about that. I mean, a lot of the kids that know my kids, because like I said, my daughter graduated 2022 from Lafayette. My son's going to graduate in 2026, and I'm at Northwest in Oxford, and so a lot of kids from Oxford and Lafayette that knew my kids come through. And at one point, when they were younger, I was me. Like I was Mr. Guest in the community. I
Right,
was the math teacher. And then I became Gracie's dad when she got enough. And now I'm Caleb's dad. And I had the same thing happen at a restaurant the other night. I was talking to a guy, and somebody else that knew my son said, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, oh, are you Caleb's dad? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, oh, I know Caleb. And so and it was pretty cool. So even though they didn't go to school together, especially in Oxford, with things like Young Life, for example, a
right,
lot of the
right. Yeah,
Oxford and Lafayette kids get together and they know each other, or they may be on the baseball team. They know the other ones because they play against them all the time and that kind of stuff. So
right.
it's really a good thing, and you got a lot of great kids in the area, and we do become known by our kids. Oh, you're Brett's dad, or you're Caleb's dad, or whatever. And so, yep, absolutely.
I remember the first time somebody said, "Oh, you're Jordan's dad." I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, okay, okay, I get it, I get it. That's how it was." But so we've got a lot of opportunities over North Mississippi to get some stories out for some kids, and just looking forward to watching this thing grow. And if you've got a story that you'd like for us to talk about, get in touch with us. You can hit us up right here on X or North Mississippi Game Day at gmail.com. It's all spelled out. North Mississippi Game Day. It's all one word, but it's all spelled out. And so you can get in touch with us there. And man, I mean, I don't know, Josh. It's football season winding down. We got 2 weeks left, and we'll take a little time off during the break. We'll come back in January, and we'll hit it hard with all the spring sports. We'll have basketball, soccer. That's just going to start getting going. I know they both already started, but then they'll start region play and stuff like that once we come back. And then softball, baseball, tennis, a lot of stuff will be cranking up when we get back.
Yeah, Ronnie, and it's kind of sentimental for both of us with seniors this year. But the fall semester flew by. We were working in football,
It did.
and then the spring when baseball starts, it's just gonna don't blink because all of a sudden it'll be over too.
Yeah. And we've gone from and you're talking about other kids in the area, and with both of our sons playing travel ball, we played with a lot of the kids from other schools, so we know kids from all over the area. But yeah, man, it's going to go quick. And, it's, when I sit here and think about it, it makes me sad, but I'm super excited to see where the season goes, for everybody. We'll follow baseball just like we did football. We'll follow basketball, soccer, because there's a lot goes on for high school athletes. And a lot of football players took off the pads for the last time last Friday night. And it's going to be kind of hard when our boys hang those cleats up for the last time as a high schooler. They both get an opportunity to go play college, but it's just something special about high school sports.
It is, and while it's not high school, I do want to prop my Northwest Rangers women's soccer team, Ronnie. Uh, as we record this, yesterday they won the Natty again, and a lot of local players. We have some local, even Oxford High School
Yeah.
players that are on that team, and one Oxford High School player that's already graduated that won another national championship in previous years. So some local talent here, and by the way, other talent from North Mississippi. I even saw something on X the other day, I believe, about possibly it was one of the maybe Louisburg or somewhere that had a player on that Northwest team that won it all. So there's other
Okay.
schools in the area too that have some girls on that team that just won. So, and of course, I mean, full disclosure, y'all, I work at Northwest, so I got to tout my team that just won the Natty. You know,
But three of the four teams playing for the national title were Mississippi teams. I know Holmes was one, Northwest was one. I'm not sure who the other one was.
It was Jones because Northwest beat
Okay.
Jones on a
Okay.
header in overtime.
Yeah. Was that
So
Caroline Perkins? Was that the one that I know she hit a shot in overtime for the
it may
win?
have been. It was in the semifinals. It was the next to last game on
Okay.
Friday or Thursday, whenever that was.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, let us know your schedules. I mean, send us some videos, and we're going to follow and follow us here on X at North Mississippi Game Day. It's right there, North MS Game Day on X, shortened just a little bit on X. But give us a follow. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe, like all that stuff. Share it with people, and let's get these stories going, and let's get them out there, and let's have some fun. Been a fun night, Josh.
has Ronnie, and again, we'll see who wins North Half for all these football games, and then who represents for state, and maybe some North Half teams, if not all of them, can bring home some state championships.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun over the next couple of weeks. As this coming Friday night, we tape here on Sundays. So this coming Friday night will be the North Half, South Half championships, and then week from Thursday, I think they start in Starkville. They have Thursday, Friday, Saturday games in Starkville. I don't know how they're going to do the Friday games, so they may play Thursday, Saturday.
Yeah,
If
I
they
don't know.
play it in Starkville.
I don't know actually, but it does rotate around.
Yeah, it's Starkville because I remember reading that they were playing at Starkville this year, but it's got the Egbo there on Friday, so they may skip Friday, play Thursday because I know there's some Thursday games, so they may be Thursday, Saturday. I don't know. I guess I should have looked that up when I was looking everything else up today, but
We can look at that next week.
that's right, that's right. So we'll know a little bit more about it next week. So hey, Josh, thanks, man. It's been a lot of fun tonight.
That's right.
So we're going to get out of here. We thank you for joining us on another episode of North Mississippi Game Day, sponsored by Charter Road Hospitality and Domino's Pizza. And we can get your name right on there as well. Just give us a call. So thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next week with more North Mississippi Game Day.